So as I'm sure many of you are very well aware of, there have been a plethora of Spider-Man games. So instead of covering every single run cycle in every single game, I limited it down to pretty much 3 Spider-Man games that I think that are pretty relevant on this topic. So the 3 games are going to be as follows: Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I think the run cycles between those 3 games are pretty distinct. So starting off with my personal favorite Spider-Man game, and that's going to be Spider-Man 2. So when I look at Spider-Man's run cycle in this, you can tell right off the bat that, there's nothing fancy going on. This is pretty much a straight up run cycle, right? He's going fairly fast. We're looking at maybe around, I want to say maybe a 10-second run cycle going on here. There's not that much up and down. There's an ever so slight favoring to the pose, but it's pretty much just transportation. He's trying to get, locomotion. He's trying to get from point A to point B in the quickest time possible. No fancy, fancy posing, no fancy timing. It's a pretty straightforward run cycle going on here. Going on to my second favorite Spider-Man game, and that's going to be Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Now, guys, I love this run cycle. It's my personal favorite. I love the entire animation of this game. Like, the animation department on Spider-Man Web of Shadows is phenomenal. I'm talking about everything from him wall running to the swinging to the transition animations. Just everything is absolutely great. There's even a different idle pose for when you're Spider-Man as opposed to when you're in the symbiote. So let's break down why I love this run cycle so much. So this run cycle is slightly longer. We're looking at maybe probably double the frame cycle that Spider-Man 2 was. Looking at 20 plus frames or so. They really favor the hero pose. I mean, if you pause the video and just look at the pose they have him running, I mean, there's so much twisting going on in the upper spine with the shoulders. The head is twisting. There's a lot of dynamic posing going on in this run cycle. I think that just helps it with the timing, because the timing, it's also dynamic because they're really favoring that pose. So it's, they hold it for as long as they can and they quickly transition to the next hero pose. It's left foot, and then hold, right foot, hold, and left foot. So everything about this run cycle is really dynamic. I advise, if you're an animator, definitely check out Spider-Man Web of Shadows and just look at their animations, whether it's an idle or whether it's your transition animations. Just everything about the animation of that game is really great, especially when you get onto the wall combat. So in contrast to Spider-Man 2's animation, this, the timing is really there. They're really favoring the timing. The up and down is very favored of the posing. So you got this bam, 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 and you really see that pose. Whereas Spider-Man 2 is pretty much bam, 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 everything was going so fast, you could just tell that he's running. In this, they really want you to see that, it's a superhero run. And you can tell that by the timing and the posing of how they spaced it. So it's really great. This now leads us to probably my least run cycle. I won't say my least favorite Spider-Man game, but this is definitely my least favorite run cycle, and that's going to be in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions by Beenox. I think all of the run cycles are fairly similar, if I remember correctly. So when it comes to this run cycle, I don't know what's going on. I tried looking into it and what was so funky about it. Like, the feet are great, right? It's a standard run cycle with the feet. But when you slowly go up the spine, there is some funky stuff going on. I tried slowing it down, and it seems like they're leading with the shoulders, right? So in Spider-Man Web of Shadows, they were leading with the arm. So the arm would get a slight, ahead of the shoulder, and then the spine would turn and all of that. In Spider-Man 2, there wasn't really that much lead at all, or anything distinguishable to the eye. But in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, it seems like they're leading with the shoulders, which makes this just this weird funky dance. And every run, it seems as if the spine is just dipping ever so slightly and then coming up and dipping so slightly. And if you combine that with the shoulder movement, it makes it a really weird run cycle. I don't know, it looks like he's dancing almost at the top. because it seems like a salsa dance or something like that. It just seems a fairly, just a weird run cycle for me. I don't know what's going on. When it comes to the spine, it doesn't seem like there's that much twisting going on, which makes it hard to distinguish, one pose from another, which is why it kind of just all looks muddled up, and it seems like he's dancing up top while his feet are running. Now, I hope you guys didn't think I forgot about the new upcoming Marvel Spider-Man game. So when comparing this game to other Spider-Man games, when looking at the animation cycle, the run cycle, there's not a lot of footage on this game, but I happened to get a clip of him running during the Mr. Negative sequence, and you can see in this animation that it's a more standardized run. Unlike Spider-Man 2 or Web of Shadows, where it's more heroic. Spider-Man 2 where it's more fast-paced. This is more of a realistic run where you can honestly see that there's a human being behind this, and there's not that much up and down. There's not that great of dynamic posing going on here because, like I said, it's just a human being, with superhero powers. So I think they really nailed that part in this run cycle. Anyways, guys, let me know which of the run cycles is your favorite and your reason why. But until next time, guys, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and keep animating.